Hello guys, welcome back to C Code. So in our top 100 code series of Java programs, I'm back with another problem 33, where we have to find out the quadrant in which the given coordinate lies. Okay, so what does this question do is, this question gives us some coordinates and then we have to figure out that those coordinates lie in which quadrant. Okay, now talking about quadrant system contains two lines intersecting each other at right angle. Okay, the vertical line is called y-axis and the horizontal line is called the x-axis. Okay, and the point at which they intersect each other at right angle is called the origin. Okay, now from origin they head to infinity. ये origin से start होके कहाँ जाती है? Infinity. From origin to right side, this x-axis has positive values. Okay, now and from origin to left side, this x-axis has negative values. Talking about y-axis, from origin to top, this y-axis contains positive values. From origin to down, this y-axis contains negative values. If we have to check the coordinate in which quadrant this coordinate is lying, we have to focus on the sign convention. Okay, whether the x value has positive value or negative sign, whether the y value has positive value or negative sign. Okay, so when both x and y have positive value, the coordinate lies in first quadrant. Okay, when x is a positive value but y has a negative value, then the coordinate lies in second quadrant. When both the coordinates x and y have negative values, the coordinate lies in third quadrant. And when x has negative value but y has a positive value, the coordinate lies in fourth quadrant. So this is how you measure in which quadrant the coordinate lies. Okay, so for this only you have to write the Java program. This is very easy. You just have to use the combination of if, else and else if conditions to check whether the coordinate is lying in which quadrant. Okay, without any delay, let's start solving this question. So I have taken the class problem 33, where inside which we have our main statement, main method. Now I'll take two variables x and y. Okay, let's suppose x has a initial value 6 and y has initial value 70. Okay, in Java you can use your scanner class to take input from user and check the program in different use cases. Okay, right now I am just declaring two variables and initializing them with some particular value. Exactly you have to check is the sign conventions of both the coordinates. Okay, for x coordinate and for y coordinate आपको इनका sign check करना है, and according to their sign you have to check in which quadrant they are lying. So for first quadrant, both the coordinates should have positive value. For the second quadrant, y should have negative value but x should have a positive value. For the third quadrant, both should have a negative value, and for the fourth quadrant, x should have a negative value but y should have a positive value. Okay, so you have to apply if else condition for same. So if x is greater than 0, which means x will have positive values, and y also is greater than 0, then the coordinates lie in first quadrant. Else if, now this was the condition for first quadrant. For second quadrant, the y-axis should be negative and x-axis should be positive. So x should be greater than 0 and y should be less than 0 to get the negative values. It should be in second quadrant. Now else if, similarly we will do for third quadrant and fourth quadrant. For third quadrant, both the values x and y should be less than 0. So x should be less than 0 and y should be less than 0. If this condition is true, then the coordinate will be in third quadrant. And for fourth quadrant, the value of x should be less than 0, but the value of y should be greater than 0. Okay, and if this condition is true, then your coordinate should lie in fourth quadrant. Now, ये तो हमारे 4 quadrants की condition हो गई, but there may be situation when your coordinate point is just lying on the axis. Okay, whether over here, whether over here, okay, whether over here, it may be lying on the axis line only. Okay, वो quadrant पे भी नहीं होगा, सिर्फ किसी axis line पर होगा. Axis line पर होगा तो क्या होगा? If your point is lying on y axis, then the value of x will be 0. If it is lying on x axis somewhere over here, then the value of y will be 0. Okay, so if this is the case, else if, okay, again we will use else if. Now, suppose the value of x is equal to 0, but the value of y is not equal to 0. So what will be the output? We will say that the point is lying on y-axis. Okay, so now the next condition is, so this is the last condition, if the value of x is not equal to 0, but the value of y is 0. Okay, so the point will be lying on x-axis. Done. Okay, so over here you have to use double equals. Okay, over here as well you have to use double equals. So this is our program for our problem 33. Let's run this program and check if our code is correct or not. So we got answer first quadrant. Of course, we had taken two values x and y, which we initialized to 6 and 70. Both the values are positive, and if both the coordinates are positive, then our coordinate lies in first quadrant. If I suppose take x as a negative value, if I run it again, I get fourth quadrant. Okay, because when x has a negative value and y has a positive value, the coordinates lie in fourth quadrant. If I take y with the negative value, I'll get third quadrant. Of course, in third quadrant, both the coordinates have negative values. Fine. If you take y at 0, okay, and only x has a value, then if you run it, the point is lying on x-axis. Okay, so this was our program. Very simple, very easy. It won't take much time also. If you like this tutorial, do hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe She Codes if you haven't subscribed, because I'll be back with more such questions which will help you to brush up your skills as well as will prepare you for interviews. Thank you. Bye-bye. Happy coding.